Okay, so I just got a bunch of books recently, and originally I was gonna do this in the video I just made about my how I did on Readathon, but that video was getting a little long, so I decided to make a separate video. Okay, so let's see. I'll start with these. Well, actually, let me just start with the books I got from the library. So I noticed there's a book trade thing going on at the library where you can turn in a book and get it one free, it looks like. And there was one book there that I was kind of interested in. I thought about doing this with, but I ended up not doing it. Okay, so, I'm still reading The Alienist. This is a book I got like 4 weeks ago. Like I said, I had three books that I've been reading. I've been trying to read through, and unfortunately, I have not been able to finish this one yet. But I got this one actually because it is based on a TV series that is coming to TNT, under the same title, which alienists are basically people that deal with those who are mentally unstable, that might have a mental disorder, or they determine if a criminal is just crazy, or if if a criminal has a mental disorder, or if he's just a criminal. And it's basically about this group of people who are trying to solve this case where this guy is murdering boy prostitutes. And of course, back then, they didn't take that seriously. They didn't care about those people because they're prostitutes and they're boys and they're dressed up like women. Of course, that's a sin against God, and so they don't care. But this alienist guy, and the main protagonist of the story, who's a reporter, and a group of other people who do care, are trying to solve this case and figure out who the murderer is. And they also have it's not just takes place in a historical period, but there is also a reference to President Roosevelt. I can't remember what his name is. Theodore Roosevelt, who I guess he was part of the New York law enforcement before, or something else before he became the president. And they actually do make references to the book. To the future and how he's gonna end up becoming president, because it's like basically told in past tense. And the journalist guy he's sharing a memory of this case. And so I've been wanting, because I heard about the series. I like historical fiction, and Luke Evans is, I believe, I don't know, but I got the impression, but I think he might be playing the journalist, the main guy in the story. So he's gonna have to work. I wonder how he does on the American accent, because the story takes place in New York. So he's gonna have to, if I'm right, and he is the reporter, the main guy, then he's gonna have to perfect his American accent. So I saw this book and I got really excited, and I decided I want to read it. So I haven't really even got halfway, because the chapters, they're not too long, but it's still a lot to read. So I got that one. I've had it for a while, unfortunately. And then most Stephen King books at that library are a little bit too long for me to borrow, because I only have 2 weeks, and I don't want to keep having to recheck it out. Renew the book, so I decided against, but this one didn't look too bad in length. The Dark Half, and I have been wanting to read the series, and I thought about asking for this book, it's not a series, it's a standalone. I thought about asking for this book, but now I might get, if I still want a Stephen King for Christmas, I might ask for The Shining or Cujo or something. Or I might still buy this book, at least, buy it myself. But this is The Dark Half. I think it deals with this writer who has created an alter ego, and supposedly his alter ego has kind of started taking on a life of its own, or at least there's like these murders that have to do these murders that basically are very similar to his alter ego, this character's like the crimes he's committed. And I just read that. That's what I've interpreted just from reading the summary, because I haven't got very far in the book, as you can see. But I always like the idea of multiple personalities, and that's the impression I get that this book deals with. The horror of, your alter ego taking your other personality, coming to life and taking on a life of its own. So I'm going to read this. Like I said, it doesn't look too bad. And Stephen King tends to write short chapters. I mean, sometimes they're really long, but other times he writes little brief chapter sections that are really only a few pages, or maybe even like a paragraph. So it kind of speeds through, but it still might take me a long time to read this. But hopefully I'll get The Alienist done so I can return that in 2 weeks, even if I don't have this one done. And of course, I made the mistake of looking around for a little bit, and I was in the children's section, which is also the YA section, because I still love reading YA. I still enjoy it, which that's a whole nother, my feelings about YA are a whole nother topic. I heard about this one, Roar, on BookTube, and I saw it, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and borrow it. Because it's not like I'm spending the money to buy it, I'm just borrowing it from the library. And, what's great about YA is that I can get through these really quickly. And this is also, it's actually new. This just came to the library. So, and if I'm able to go to YALLFest and the author is there and I like this book, I might buy it so that I can get the author to sign it. That is if I like him, and she's at YALLFest, and I'm able to go to YALLFest. I mean, it sounds like I'll be able to, but my mom still has to buy the tickets, because I don't do, my own online buying. My mom kind of helps me with that. So she's the one that will buy the tickets. Yeah, but it's actually kind of cool, because our library does have some of the new books that came out in the last year or so, or last couple of years, and so I was I was able to borrow Caraval from them, which I personally liked. I mean, it wasn't the best book ever, but I did really enjoy Caraval. I know not a lot of people liked it as much. Okay, so that's my library visit. Okay, now on to the books I bought recently. Okay, so like I said, we have an used bookstore in town, which the most expensive book is $5. That's all the hardbacks, and like the bigger size books. But this one I had seen. Actually, I think I did show this one in a book haul already. But I had seen the movie version of this, so I had been wanting to read the novel for a while. It's actually a series of books, I believe. So I decided to go ahead and buy it, because there is no way I would have been able to buy it anywhere for a decent price. I think this is probably like $2 or $3. Maybe $4. Because I know it wouldn't be $5, and it wouldn't be $1. I don't think it was $1. Maybe it was. But anyway, I have been wanting to read this. I should have bought the second book today. Or, I don't know if it was the second book or not. I should have bought that one instead of the books I bought, which I will get to that in a minute. But this is basically about a mother-daughter relationship. The mom's a little bit of an alcoholic. She's kind of crazy. She, when she's a little girl, she and her group of friends had this group called the Yaya Sisterhood. And it goes, and her daughter, after she talks about her mom and makes her mom look bad newspaper article, in a magazine article, because she's an author and she's being interviewed, and she made her mom look bad, and so her mom was really hurt by that, and then which leads to an argument, and then she comes to this conclusion that she and her new boyfriend should not get married because she will end up being just like her mother. So she calls off her own wedding, and then her mom's three best friends secretly go to visit the daughter and drug her up and take her to their secret little cabin and tell the daughter the story of her mom's life, and how she grew up and the things that happened, and how she met her father, like all this kind of stuff. I always like those kind of stories where you compare the modern child's life to their parents' life back in whenever. I always like that story. Of course, now I know the plot from the movie. I'm sure the book is going to be a little bit different. But like I said, I have been wanting to read the book, so I got that. I'll get to that one in a minute. And okay, so like during my trip to when my cousin Allie was visiting us, we took her to the country bookstore because she also really enjoys reading, and I really wanted to show her. And we also were going to this little crepes place, Betsy's Crepes, in that town, because that is like my favorite restaurant. So we wanted to take her there. And the country bookstore was in that same area, so we took her there, and I decided to get this book, The Crown's Game, the first one in a duology. I had been hearing a lot. This was another one I had been hearing about on BookTube a lot. I'm told that it's similar to Throne of Glass, at least the first book. And it's I don't think it's as popular as Throne of Glass. And it's also a duology, I believe. So I've been wanting to read that. And finally, my mom ordered this book for me. I had been wanting to get this book for a while, because it was I kept hearing about this book on BookTube, and then eventually I decided to go ahead and get Darker Shade of Magic. I bought that one, and then I decided I wanted to get this one. Unfortunately, it sold at the time when I was getting ready to go to Books A Million, I found out that it was sold. It was not there anymore. It wasn't in stock anymore. So that led me to go online in order. And as I said, my mom is the one, when I want to buy stuff online, my mom is the one that ends up buying it for me, because she doesn't want me to put my credit card and stuff on the internet. And I also, that I'm not exactly internet smart all the time. So it's just better if she does it for me. Granted, one day, not that I want to think about this, but one day I'm gonna have to be the one that's gonna do that kind of stuff if I ever want to buy something online. But like I said, I don't want to think about that, because it also brings back a very sad possibility consideration. So I've been hearing a lot about this, and I've been wanting to read this book for a while. And it reminds me, from what I heard about that, it kind of sounds like a comic book, almost, like a comic book type plot. And I'm just so used to buying novels that it's just hard for me, because a graphic novel, because I don't want to buy those little comic books, because then I would have to buy a whole bunch of issues just to continue the story. Those little, like the ones that are the original comic strips, comic books. Because now they have graphic novels where they have multiple stories and one thing combined, and like it's kind of like an anthology, and I would rather buy that. But the problem is that is as expensive as a book, so it's just easier for me to go buy books. And like I said, this kind of sounds like a lot like and even says, V. Schwab's Vicious is the superhero novel I've been waiting for. Fresh, merciless, and yes, vicious. Wow. And I like the superhero storylines. It's just easier for me to buy an actual book than a graphic novel. So, I was very excited about this. Okay, so those are more like books I bought in the middle, like in the last few months. Probably before definitely before SuperCon. Well, except for Vicious was one I got after SuperCon. The Crown's Game and Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sister was before SuperCon because I was kind of on a book ban, and if my mom wanted me to continue the book ban into August, then I totally broke it because August is not technically over. It won't be over until Friday. So, but I mean, it's only 3 days away. And my mom is currently not here. It's just me and my dad. So it's okay. As long as she does not see this video, and I don't think she will unless it's drawn to her. I draw her attention to it. Or like my sister finds it. Or something while surfing. But hopefully that will never happen. Because, I mean, I don't think I've said anything too much of anything on here that my sister and my mom would be questioning, but you never know. And so I kind of don't want them to know about this because it's kind of my own personal thing. And I don't want them. Okay, so this book about a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, I don't really know what it's about because there was really no summary. There was just like blurbs from like entertainment magazines and other writers and and Washington Post. So I didn't really, and I have this urge to buy books when I go to this bookshop because, like I said, the most expensive book is $5. So it's a good deal. It's not the greatest collection ever. It doesn't have a lot of the mainstream, or it does, but it's more like the generic mainstream. Like, it has a few Stephen King books. It has some Daniel Steele, stuff like that. But nothing like, no Sarah J. Maas. There is a YA children's section, a small, it's basically a display of boxes, on a table. But I think I'm helping them in managing to make sure they have more YA books, because I've donated a lot of books lately. So I got this one. It was only $1 and something cents, I think. Because I think the original price, it would be $2. So it looked like historical fiction. The cover looked kind of interesting, so. Okay, so I admit, I did a cover buy here. I kind of did a cover buy. But that was but again, to be fair, I was kind of I just wanted to buy a book, and I couldn't decide. I did read a tiny bit of the first page. It's kind of cover by and a title by, because I don't necessarily, I go by, a lot of times, instead of going by covers, I go by the titles. If the title gets my attention, then I pick it up and look at the back and see if there's a summary. So in a way, this is a cover buy for me. Shocking, because I've said multiple times I'm not the kind of person, but it did not have a summary, which is kind of annoying. So next, what was really awesome is all this month they had a deal. They have this thing where you can buy 5 books, and if you buy 5 books, you get 5 books for $5. So I totally took advantage of that, because if I got the only 2 books I was going to get, then it would cost me a little bit more than maybe $4 or something. So the cashier was basically saying that it would be a better deal if I just go ahead and buy the 5 books. Okay, so first I got This Side of Paradise, which is a F. Scott Fitzgerald book I had already read. I have read The Great Gatsby twice now. Well, 3 times, technically. Actually, No, twice. Twice. If I read it again soon, that will be 3 times. But I read it in high school, and I remember really liking it, so I decided to read it again. So I don't know if it was before we moved or after we moved that I read it for the second time, and again, I really enjoyed it. So I decided to get this one. I saw this in the classic section. Okay, and then I have a few of his books. I have The Pillars of the Earth, The World Without End, and then I decided, because of what I read about the where it takes place, when I read the back, I decided I wanted to get this book. And unfortunately, the last time I checked for it today, it was not there. So I found it, and of course, if I buy this at a regular bookstore, it's going to be a lot more expensive. Unless I get the mass paperback edition, or like the smaller ones, the pocket-sized ones. So I got this. And then this kind of sounded interesting. I read it. Kind of sounded a little bit, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Jane Eyre. Okay, I'll read the back. Taken from her native Iceland to Scotland in the early 1950s, when her widower father drowns at sea, young Gemma Hardy comes to live with her kindly uncle and his family. But his death leaves Gemma under the care of her resentful aunt, and she suddenly finds herself an unwelcome guest. Surviving oppressive years of a strict private school, Gemma ultimately finds a job as an au pair to 8-year-old niece of Mr. St. Clair on the Orkney Islands, and here at the mysterious and remote Blackbird Hall, Gemma's greatest trial begins. So, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it very much reminds me of Jane Eyre in the plot. It says, and offers a new telling of Jane Eyre, for which no contemporary writer is better suited. So this is a retelling of Jane Eyre. And Jane Eyre has been one of my favorite classics, so I decided to get this one. And let's see. And then I remember seeing this one the last time I went there when I got this one. I saw this one there, and I decided to get it. And I know I have a best friend my best friend Terry really loves Egypt and Egyptian history. So when I get this one done, then I might give this one to her. She might really like it. I'll have to tell her about it too. It's basically about Queen Nefertiti, and how she has to get married. And her relationship with her sister. And by the summary, it sounds like people are plotting against her new husband's reign, and it's about her trying to, her and her sister trying to figure out what's going on and stuff. That's what it sounds like. I wonder if this is an Owen Voices book. I wonder if the author's Egyptian. She could potentially be. So once I'm done with this, I might offer it to my friend Terry if I like it. Okay, now this last book. Yeah, I got 5. This last book is actually, unfortunately, the last book in a trilogy. But I saw it, and I was like, okay, I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to get any of the other books in the trilogy. So I figure I may as well pick it up. This is Magician's Land. I have been hearing a lot about this, especially from Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. And now, to be fair, I have read the series. Not read the series. Seen the series, the TV series. So, of course, I might have to wait on this one and get the next 2 books. Before I read it. But it was, again, like I said, it was one of those things where I saw and I was like, well, when am I going to get a chance to buy this book at this decent of a price? So, I mean, I could read it and it will just kind of spoil the TV show for me. And I kind of basically know what happens. I mean, going with the I mean, I know TV shows are different and they change a lot of things for the sake of the screen. So, it'll probably be a little different. But, I mean, I might just watch it anyway, even if it's not, you know, or it might be good and wait. I don't know. But, like I said, I saw it there and it was like, okay, when is the next time I'm going to get a book, this, you know, a hardback book like this for for a decent price. So I picked it up. Okay, so those are my books that I got for $5 altogether, which is totally awesome. It's a great deal. Of course, I still think my mom will still probably not approve, because, you know, she'll want me to go on another book buying ban if she finds out. But I might see if I can get away with her not finding out. Okay, so that is my book haul, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.